Hey guys, what's up? It's Aaron here with Iron Therapy Training, and I am a health and fitness expert right here in Great Bend, Kansas. We have helped hundreds of people transform their lives, losing up to 90 pounds in a program with us. I am a National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer, certified nutrition coach, certified corrective exercise specialist, and I am a body transformation expert right here in Great Bend, Kansas. Our mission here is to help as many busy working professionals in Great Bend and surrounding areas get their health and life back with a complete body transformation. And I have a special guest here today who is Jason Eads. He is a professional massage therapist right here in Great Bend. I'm going to let Jason introduce himself, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the topic today. It's a very special talk. Jason?
Yeah, I own Massage at Eads. I've been in practice close to 7 years. I graduated from Fort Hays in the massage therapy program, I think around 2002, and actually started my practice in 2000 with a shortened course. I passed my MBLEX certification shortly after completing my college education in the subject. And I've been working with multiple clients all over the county of Barton County and Great Bend, Kansas and surrounding areas for quite some time. I also have an experience, 25 years in healthcare as a nurse's aide, traveling mostly prior to becoming a massage therapist. My specialty as a massage therapist is what I call customizing your session. We figure out what your goals are for your sessions, and we apply different techniques until we find that perfect massage session.
Yes, that's one special technique you have. I've been to Jason quite a few times, and you just have to go find out for yourself to really know. But yeah, you've been helping people for a long time in the health and fitness industry and health and everything like that. So Jason's going to talk with me today. We got a special talk, how to break free from tech neck and strategies on how you can release this tension and build strength the right way. We're going to talk about some of the problems that are associated with tech neck that people can struggle with, on a day-to-day basis. And then we're going to talk about some strategies to get over those problems. And we're really going to give you guys some key insight on things that really actually work to fix the tech neck, because this tech neck has been causing a lot of issues. Jason, you deal with this a lot on the table.
I do.
You see a lot of people with the neck posture.
One of the challenge for me is a lot of people wait too long until they come see me. It's probably similar in your industry as well.
Sure.
Like many medical issues, it's better to catch it earlier rather than later. What I do on the table for Technic is we address things specifically. We look at the attachment sites, where the neck muscles are going, where are we tight, what is the most effective, and we implement stretches and pressure techniques, everything from hot stones to vibration therapy to try to adjust all of that to get it to loosen up. And then we will, sometimes I'll refer to Aaron or other personal trainers or physical therapists to try to implement a plan of correction to where it doesn't keep getting aggravated over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because there are some muscles that tend to get really weak in the neck, and just releasing the muscles alone isn't always enough.
Correct. It gets you to a point where you can work on it. You have the pain relief at that point, and then you can start strengthening the right areas. And then when things get aggravated, as they inevitably will, you come back, you see me, we get you to a point where you can mobilize again, all in part of the corrective process. It didn't happen overnight. You don't get forward head posture or tech neck in one day. You can't fix it in one day, but you can correct it over time with the right program and the right treatments.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's a lot of problems that come in with TechNeck. Now, if you guys aren't really familiar with TechNeck, it's when you're kind of on your phone and looking down with your head for a long period of time, or scrolling on social media, even reading books, looking down for a long period of time can cause this. However, a lot of people nowadays, they're not reading as many books. They're on the phone. And the phones seem to be causing one of the biggest problems.
Or if they
With
are reading books,
TechNeck.
they're reading books on their phone. It's
Yeah.
all right there, or on a tablet, and your head is in this position. The other funny thing about that, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, was it started long before phones and tablets became a thing. It all started with little bitty offices and little bitty computer desks where you have to look down at the monitor, and you're there 8 hours a day. And a lot of people, office workers, they eat at their desk and they're at that monitor the whole time and they look down. Other work environments, workshops, the Amazon shipping, anything where you have a desk in front of you that's a workspace height, you're going to look down at that the whole time. And so your neck's at this constant decline.
Yeah.
And then the body reacts to help stabilize your neck in that position. And so what happens is you eventually start having difficulty putting it back to normal.
Yeah, and your head is really heavy. The more your head is tilted forward, the heavier it is on your neck.
Correct.
And I've seen some stuff with National Academy of Sports Medicine where your head could weigh up to 60 pounds if it's forward in a certain degree, looking down at your phone. It
The
can-
leverage of it on the joints makes it heavier and heavier and
Yes.
heavier.
Yes, up to 60 pounds. So just imagine having that much pressure on that neck and what it's doing to you and how that's, maybe causing some of these headaches that you may be having, or these tension
a lot of
headaches, or
headaches.
going home with a headache for no reason. And it all could be stemming from one thing, and that could be TechNeck. So Jason, you got some tight muscles and stuff you work on.
Correct.
We get into some of that stuff here. We can loosen up some muscles. We can loosen up some trap area and some stuff. But there's some muscles that I am unable to get to, and only a massage professional would be able to get to those muscles because they would know which
Right,
muscles
right.
to get to. What are some of those muscles?
Well, one of the main ones I try to get into is the SCM, which the attachment for the origin, fancy massage talk, starts right here on the inside of the rib. So actually below the clavicle bone and down into that rib is where that originates. And on almost everybody, if you push down right there and then pull up, you'll feel an immediate stretch, and you don't even have to pull that hard or look up. So this muscle right here is a key target. The SCM's involved in the rotation of the head. And so over time, especially in my older clients, you have people who start having difficulty driving or difficulty communicating or even sitting in a room and listening to the people around them because they're unable to turn their head to attune their ears or to be able to look at where they're going and what they're doing.
Yeah, that's pretty deep. And the SCM, the sternocleidomastoid is what he's referring to.
It's a fun word.
That muscle is one of the main predominant muscles in your neck that does all that function that he's talking about. So when that muscle gets tight, it does limit your mobility, and it does cause a lot of pain and discomfort. Now, a way you can kind of do a little assessment with you, if you guys are watching this or listening, you can get up against the wall, okay? And back your heels all the way up against the wall. Touch your butt to the wall and your upper back to the wall. And try to get your head to touch the wall without tilting your chin towards the ceiling. That's one way you can kind of check how your neck is and if it's in the right position or if you're having trouble doing that. Now, a lot of people will put their head back and tilt their chin up towards the ceiling, that is telling us there's some movement compensations in the neck that would need to be addressed, and some muscles that would need to be released, and also strengthen some of the other muscles like the deep cervical flexors. The deep cervical flexors are a muscle that's going to be very, very weak in the front of your neck. So Jason, there's a couple other tight muscles that you work on the back, and we know the neck, when you're having neck trouble, you're going to have some upper back trouble, some upper
sure.
rounded back and forward rounded shoulders.
It's a key component in if your head's forward, that's going to draw your shoulders forward.
Yeah.
It's not a muscle group, but one of the things I try to treat, which can be very tricky, and chiropractors and massage therapists alike really target this area, is the atlas. The atlas is C1. It's the very top cervical vertebrae in the neck. And because it's small and it's right there at the top, every joint needs to move to be healthy. Every joint needs to move to be healthy.
Yeah,
Motion is lotion.
absolutely.
Because of the atlas's location, it doesn't move well because all of its neighbors, C1, C2, C3, all the way down, they move better because they have more space. If you can't, I get in there, I'm going to try to move the head, move the neck, get that atlas loose to keep that from atrophying. You ever notice how people get older, they get this thick collar right there below the neck? A lot of that is atrophied tissue from a lack of movement. It gets
Wow.
thicker and thicker all the time. So I get in there, I move that atlas. It's kind of a subtle movement. It's actually an easy way to put somebody to sleep too, because it just knocks them right out.
Wow.
It's one of those, probably the second most effective thing I do to help treat that. Because if all of your cervical vertebrae, your neck spine move better and are loose, you're going to be able to use the muscles Aaron's talking about to stabilize the neck better because the spine isn't that tight.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the neck is, I mean, it's a critical area to be working on. And they got, Chat GPT and
Oh yeah.
Google and all this AI stuff out there now. So one of the things I would just really, be careful with is just make sure if you are looking some of this stuff up that you're really careful with the approach that you're doing. Just because there's so many nerves and things in your neck that can cause more trouble if you do it the wrong way. A lot of people may not even know this, but you don't even want to put a foam roller to the back of your neck. That's a big no-no. You don't want to foam roll the back of your neck, just like the lower back on your spine. You do not want to foam roll those areas. There's some natural curvatures in those areas that need to stay there. The natural curvature. We don't want like the too much of the curvature in there as well, too much of an arch. But we need the natural curvature to stay in there. And then there's a lot of nerves you got to be careful with so you don't, start having some numbing and tingling going
Yeah.
down your arms and some more problems.
You can cause a trauma, and what I mean by trauma
Yeah.
is you can cause, chiropractor would call it a subluxation. You can cause a shift in your neck or your neck tissues that's going to give you a pinched nerve or actually an increase in inflammation, which is only going to aggravate the problems.
Yeah.
Which is why going to a professional, especially if your condition is chronic, going to a professional, having it assessed and coming up with a treatment plan based on your neck and where it is at the time is going to be a more effective method than going to an online training program or just Googling it. Because
Yeah.
that Google has never touched your neck. Google doesn't know your dad used to brain dust you on the church pew when you were 5 a lot, and that caused irritation back when you were in your most formative years. We can assess those things, we can find those things out, and then we can treat accordingly.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really well said. Very well said. Now there's some stuff, we can kind of help them with here on these videos that will help them out.
For sure.
What are a couple, postural things and things they could implement throughout the day that you know of?
I had a chiropractor tell me one of the easiest things, it was an ah-duh moment. You find something out and it's so simple, but it's like, oh wow, why did I not figure this out? And it's turn your palms out. So the way your humerus is, if your palms are down, your humerus is rotated forward. That's the bone in the arm there where the deltoid is. But if you roll your palm up, your humerus is rolled back, and that automatically pulls the musculature in the chest and helps you maintain your posture better. And all you're doing is this. Just turn your palms up.
Yeah, that's a really good idea there too. That helps. A lot of those things do help. Some simple techniques like that. Another thing you can do, when you're driving down the road in your car, sit upright and try to put your neck back into the headrest. Now, the only thing that can be a little bit of trouble there is a lot of these cars nowadays, they have that neck rest actually a little bit forward where it's pushing your head forward. So you want to be able to get your neck to go back in that straight position as much as possible. But yeah, the only thing that would affect that is if you have one of those newer style cars and you're unable to get your neck to actually go all the way back. Another great idea is a stand-up desk, standing up throughout the day, actually looking at your monitor from a higher point of view.
Yeah, or putting your monitor up higher. Where you're not staring down at it or holding your phone.
Absolutely, yeah, and that is very well said. Yeah, and I'm really glad that you said that about keeping your phone up, because a lot of people don't know this, but your body's really smart. So it's going to do anything that it can do to try to conserve energy in your body. And that's one of the main reasons why we find ourselves, slouching a lot or sitting with our neck looking down and holding those bad postures throughout the day, because it does take energy to hold your body upright and be in that position.
Your body has fascial layers.
Yeah.
And massage therapists talk about fascial layers all the time. They thicken with inactivity. Your body kind of is covered in this liquid sand. If you want to Google fascial layers, you can kind of discover it's the whole thing that knits our body together. And when you have inactivity, the fascial layers will get thicker, because movement is what thins it out. If you don't have the movement, that layer gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And while it's sad to mention, the best visual example of that is if you've ever dealt with a stroke patient who's had that one arm and it's all contractured up. That's because those fascial layers haven't gotten moved around, and they've gotten thicker and thicker and thicker, and that draws that arm and contracts everything together. The same thing happens with our neck muscles when we hold them in a downward position over time. That fascial layer doesn't thin, we don't move it, it gets thicker, stiffer, and tighter, and that pulls down on the joints, pulls down on the muscles, reduces your circulation, and it's your body's way of being efficient. You're telling your body, we don't need this range of motion, by not using it.
Yeah.
And so the body's like, fine, we'll just throw it out. And you end up not being able to turn your head, not being able to look up.
Absolutely.
And as we age, that becomes more and more prevalent.
Absolutely. I would agree with that for sure. And another thing, when you were discussing about having your head down and the fascial layers getting thicker and thicker over time, but what's happening when your neck is down and rounded forward, or if you have that forward head posture?
What happens to your balance?
Oh man, so the balance, it's going to really affect your balance, where it's going to want to pull you forward, and also having that going on is going to cause a low back arch, because your head's heavy, has some weight to it. So if your head's forward, your back's going to try to counterbalance that weight. Your low back, you'll arch your low back while the head is protruding forward.
And then when you add the atypical bone structure diseases, especially among women, if osteoporosis and osteoarthritis, common among women, those bones get weaker and more fragile, and that curve gets more and more pronounced. And I don't know how many gals I've talked to over the years, I don't want to look like Granny.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like my great grandma. I don't want that.
That bump on the back of the neck?
Right, and so if we can work on that, we can get it relaxed, we can incorporate some movement, we can incorporate some techniques, some exercises, we can help you, we can't guarantee cures, But
Yeah.
we can definitely treat it to where it's not going to be as pronounced as it would as if you left it untreated.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. That was good. That was good. And with your head being forward and having that going on, you got this bone. It's a floating bone in your neck. Okay, it's the only floating bone in your body that's not really attached to anything. It's a suspension bone. Like it's the only thing supporting it is muscles in your neck.
The hyoid bone, right?
The hyoid bone.
Right.
Exactly, yes. So the hyoid bone is that floating bone in your neck. And when your head is forward and you have forward head posture, or you have extreme hyperkyphosis and that forward rounding neck, that bone gets repositioned. And once that bone gets repositioned, it causes a series of problems throughout your whole body. And I'm talking breathing problems. You could start having TMJ problems with your jaw. You could start having more neck pain and headaches. And they're starting to tie in a lot of this into sleep apnea. Having sleep apnea trouble, because it's also going to create breathing problems. Just having the hyoid bone out of position. Now, sleep apnea is not only because of overweight and being obese. It does have a lot to do with that floating bone in your neck and your hyoid bone being out of position. And the doctors and stuff, they're not trying to hurt people, but they know you're not going to go through the coaching. They know you're not going to do a bunch of the exercises, so they prescribe you a sleep apnea machine. And that should be used kind of like a crutch, like crutches, you know, like you broke your leg, you use crutches for a while, and then you start learning how to do these things and fix your posture and work on your breathing patterns and, you know, strengthen your tongue, because when the hyoid bone gets out of position, your tongue's going to get weak, and then your tongue's going to want to fall back in the back of your throat when you're sleeping. So there's a series of things that you can work on with your neck to correct this and help somebody that's struggling with sleep apnea symptoms and issues. Now, one of the muscles that are really weak in your neck too is that deep cervical flexors. You ever heard anything on the deep cervical flexors? So you could lay down on the ground. This would be a little exercise you could try if you can get down on the ground. Get down on the ground, lay on your back, and just tuck your chin and let your back of your shoulders be touching the ground. Tuck your chin and pull it down in position, and then let it go straight back again. And then roll your head back towards the ceiling, and then tuck your chin, bring it in, flex them deep cervical flexors, get some chin tucks in, and let it roll back. Jason, there's more muscles that are tight in the neck besides the SCM. There's another one, I think it's more on the side of your neck. Is that right?
Yeah, I want to say scalenes, but it's been a while since I've been in school.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
on the side right here. They're more up and down movement muscles, if I remember correctly. We work on that a lot. And also, people don't realize your traps are connected at the neck. Right here at the base of the neck, this is the start of your traps.
Yeah.
And so if your traps are tight anywhere, that's going to add tension to the back of the base of the neck. Headaches, most often from the assessments I've done and the conversations I've had with people, start right here. And so if the tension is locked in there with the traps, and the SCM also connects there, a lot of the connection sites are right here because that's where you move, okay? If that connection is tight from any number of connections and muscles that go through there, you're going to have your headaches. That's going to just aggravate your problem. It's a major point. I spend a lot of time right there.
Yeah. And what are some techniques you use on the back of the neck and some areas where you get to? And
Well, I do a supported assisted stretch. And so basically you use a forearm and you support the neck in a relaxed state, and then you can pull that up into a stretch. And so you loosen all of that. Stretching is one of the few modalities in massage that actually gets into joint capsules. You talk about deep tissue work, stretching is the definition because it gets clear into the joint capsule at its attachment site. If you think about it, is if you have a rubber band and you pull it tight, okay? You're stretching the whole rubber band. Now, if you just loosen that and you just pluck it tight, that's like working the muscle belly. If you're rubbing them or moving the muscle belly, and it's a benefit too, you're moving the middle of that rubber band and you're stretching it out and it's getting loose. But if you can stretch, you're moving the whole rubber band even at the point of attachment. And that's just one of the techniques I use. There's a lot else to use.
That's good. That's good too, because you know, once you really release a muscle, like with corrective exercise, for instance, we want to release the muscle first, you know. So we would use our techniques with the foam roll and then stretch. So when you can get into like a massage therapist and get them to get a little bit of that deep tissue work and that stretch in too.
Right.
Oh,
And the advantage of having me do it versus doing it independently is I'm going to be able to safely help you stretch deeper than you can on your own. So that little bit you get to, I can go just a little bit past that safely. We can get a little more progress that way. That's the difference between just stretching on your own and an assisted stretch.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The passive stretching, right?
Correct.
Passive.
Yeah, and passive is very important.
Yes.
I won't go in all the detail, but one of the key things about massage versus you doing things on your own is the difference between passive range of motion and active range of motion. The small soundbite of it is if you're doing the movement, you're guarding something based on your injury and your pain history. If you're truly passive, you're truly relaxed, and I'm moving that. You're able to let go of a lot of things. There are nerves and things that are going to fire and start communicating better within the body itself, just because I'm the one doing the work instead of you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that is great. And while we're talking about all this, I kind of wanted to mention, you know, the time to try to get into a massage therapist or come see a corrective exercise specialist, or even, you know, start a program or anything like that. The time that's involved is one of main people's
Time is a big
excuses,
thing,
you
yeah.
know, that they don't have enough time. But if you don't make time for your symptoms that you're having now and the problems you're having now, you're going to be forced to make the time for those later. The amount of money it's going to cost you, because there's a difference in the cost in investing, right? So investing in yourself would be to prevent, and a cost would be something that's forced upon you that you're unwilling to want to pay, but you kind of have to pay.
Like
to
a deductible.
to get out of it. Yeah, so that's some of this stuff can help you prevent having to be forced to even get under a knife and have your neck operated on or your low back have to be operated on by doing these things and keeping up with your body. Jason, do you have any things with, you know, the upper back area that you see that's tied into the neck that's causing trouble, even with the shoulders?
It's all tied in. It's all tied in. If your upper back is
Absolutely.
tight, your neck's going to be tight. You can't
Absolutely.
separate the two.
Yep.
And if your neck is tight, you may not be as tight in the upper back, but like I said, your largest back muscles attach at your neck.
Yeah,
So you can't have one without the other.
exactly. 100% exact right there. And some more muscles that need to be released, you know, that I'm aware of on our side are the chest. The chest is going to be really tight.
Definitely.
If you have hyperkyphosis, and hyperkyphosis is that forward rounding
Right.
shoulders and the head rounding forward excessively, okay, excessively. And there's other terms and ways you can describe this, but that's hyperkyphosis. And that is going to have shoulder mobility issues. And that goes all the way back down to the assessment that we discussed at the beginning when you're
Right.
standing up against the wall. If
Right.
you're able, this is a different assessment. I don't know if I explained this one yet or not, but you want your heels against the wall, your butt against the wall, and your head against the wall. And you want to not lean your chin up towards the ceiling. You want to keep your arm nice and straight, and you're going to want to reach your arm all the way up to the top of the wall and touch your arm to the back of the wall. Now, if you're unable to do that without bending your elbows or arching your low back, that is showing shoulder mobility issues at that point.
Right.
And those are also going to be tied into the neck. So if you're trying that assessment, listening to this podcast, you're going to find out that you're actually having some neck trouble and shoulder mobility trouble in that one assessment.
Yeah.
So, Jason, you were describing to me at one point about laying down on the floor, trying to open up the chest, trying to get that to.
Well,
can
and
you
it's
explain that?
if you can safely get up and down off the floor,
Yeah.
or a flat, firm surface, it's a nice way to let gravity actually work for you for a while instead of against us, which is what we're all kind of dealing with. Is if you lay flat, you can kind of put your arms like this and let the back of your hands rest on the ground, and you just stay there. And you let gravity kind of help pull the chest open, push the shoulders back. And then one of the things, literally just kind of picked it up from Aaron before we started the podcast today, was if you can tuck your chin a little bit and let your head rest on the floor at a slightly different angle, and then just try to relax into that position, that by itself will actually let gravity kind of work and pull some things open and loosen some things up, and then you just deep breathe into that pose. In fact, I remember from taking yoga classes long ago, that is one of the poses, is where your legs are in a different position, but you're basically laid back here and you're relaxing into it. So you're letting your body go back to its normal shape in that movement and that exercise.
Yeah, that's really good. And that has a lot to do with your everyday pain and your posture improvements. So the more you could make these small adjustments, it can help benefit you daily on some of these pains that you may be having and the issues that are going on, and helping relieve some of this dang headaches and neck tension that people so predominantly complain about. You know, it's just a big problem nowadays.
Right.
So, well, that's about all we got for the talk today, Jason. We went over break free from tech neck, some strategies on how to release this tension. We went over what you can do to really build strength the right way. We went over a couple exercises you can do, some standing postural things you can do throughout the day. And we also gave an assessment that you can test and see kind of what's going on. And again, that's just a little bit of an assessment you can kind of try out on your own. Of course, there's always more. Even on the massage side, there's always more that we're leaving out.
Right.
So just be aware of that as well. And then we also talked about the things that have to do and the problems that come along with tech neck and the forward rounding head and shoulders and posture. So if you guys ever need any help like that, or you need help with your posture, or you want to get your health and life back with the complete body transformation, don't hesitate to reach out. My name is Aaron Rainey here. I'm with Iron Therapy Training, and I have Jason here.
With Massage at Eads.
And Jason, you are located where again?
I'm at 3800 Forest Street, just right back of Hair Central.
Okay, and if they're having a lot of neck tension and headaches and stuff like that, where would they kind of reach out to you?
Best, easiest way is just text 620-786-6955. I also have online scheduling, which makes it really, really convenient.
Yes.
You just have to look up Massage at Eads.
Great. And you also do, kind of give them a little spiel on that, you also do some deep tissue work and and lighter work as well.
Correct. Yeah, everything's done at tolerance. Some people, I'm 6'4". I can be a little intimidating to some people. If that's an issue, call and text me anyway. I'm going to help you find somebody that's going to be able to give you the effective work you need. But nothing's going to replace somebody who can accurately assess what's going on in your neck. So we can start with a short session. We can assess, I can treat it. You're going to feel better. And from there, we can formulate a plan of action. Do you want to keep seeing me? Do we need to find another therapist? Do we need to go see Aaron over at Iron Therapy? What can we do not only to treat today's pain, but so we have less of it tomorrow and the next day and the next day?
Well said, well said. All right. Well, this is Aaron with Iron Therapy and Jason here with Massage at Eads. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon.